Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone who is listening today is doing super fantastic. Before I get into this episode, I do want to say make sure you are following me on my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest so that you can stay up to date on all the latest podcast episodes and check out some super relatable, super hilarious tall girl content. They'll be linked below. And underneath, yes, there is more. Underneath that link, you will see a link to leave me a review. Make sure you do that and let me know how tall you are. I'm genuinely curious. I'm still in search of my height twin. Quite frankly, I probably found her or him already, but I don't remember. You want to know why? Because they didn't leave me a review. So make sure you leave me a review. Anyways, what a week it's been. What a week it's been. I just think after midterms, everything just starts going a little cray. Just a little bit, though. I'm convinced that it starts going a little crazy. I found out a lot of things within 1 week. It's not even a week, not even a full week that I found out a lot of things. It's just, 5 days? It's a lot to process. Don't know how to feel about it. Don't want to say either just yet, but it's just a lot to think about or a lot to digest. And some 40-year-old guy gave me his phone number the other day on the train. I don't know how I feel about that, and I don't know how I feel about getting back on the train next week, because oh my gosh, imagine. I don't even want to think about it, but I don't want to see him again and be like, yeah, like, why didn't you text me? There's a reason why. And he kept telling me to text him while he was sitting there. I was like, This is where you have to be glad we're in New York City. When you take the train and you go underground, you have absolutely no signal. So I just played off like, yeah, like, obviously it's not going to send because, Anyways, I don't want to think too much about it because, I don't know. In the moment, it was funny at first in the moment, but now thinking about it, I'm a little freaked out. But anyways, I'm convinced that it's because I was tall. That's like the winning feature right there. And just by sitting next to him, I could tell I was definitely much taller than him. Actually, I don't know about the tall being the winning, the height being the winning feature or whatever, because I was carrying my instrument. If you didn't know, I played the bass clarinet. I was carrying my instrument and he asked me about the instrument, so I think that was the winning thing. But you know what? Anyways, enough of that. Enough about me. How are you doing? Is your life going okay? Have you been eating good food? Have you been standing in the sun lately? Doing anything crazy? I'm literally sitting here like you guys are actually gonna respond, but I'm literally just talking into a microphone right now. So how are you guys gonna respond? But you know what? These are just thinking questions. You can hit me up at a Tall Girls podcast. DM me. Let me know what the vibe is. But anyways, now it's just time to focus back on me. Oh my gosh, not me sounding self-centered. But I've been feeling a lot lately as, did I say in the beginning? Kind of, a little bit-ish. There's just a lot going on within the past 5 days that, I don't know. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, or you know me personally, I've been trying to, open myself up to the world, open myself up to people. I've been in isolation for 2 years. First 2 years of college, last semester was horrendous. I feel like I keep explaining this over and over in every episode. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. If you're new here, you gotta know. You gotta know the vibes so you can understand what's going on. But I've been opening myself up to the world, opening myself up to people, just trying to be social. Last semester was a complete fail, but I think that this semester, up to this point, has been going pretty okay. It was better than last semester. That's really all I can say. Last semester, you caught me every other day crying on the 13th floor. I said this in my last episode, but this semester I've only cried on the 13th floor twice, and that was in the beginning of the semester, and I haven't done it since. It's been like a month or so since I've done that. So I personally consider that progress. And I've just been trying to be social and trying to make friends, colleagues, acquaintances, whatever. And me personally, I'm just going to get into my personality. I'm a pretty direct person. I'm pretty upfront. I'm very upfront about many things, especially with what I want. I'm pretty vocal about that. So for the most part, if I want to do something or I want to do something with you or with somebody, I will make it known. Directly or indirectly. I've been trying to do it indirectly for certain reasons that I'm about to get into, but I've been trying to do it indirectly, which may come off directly to some people, but indirectly to me, I don't know. And either way, you will still know, even if it's indirect. And lately, I've been starting to feel like it's just too much for others. I'm doing too much. I'm forcing them into, I don't know, like a friendship or a hangout, a meetup type thing, or something that they may not necessarily have wanted to do in that moment or may have never thought to do, like with me specifically or in general, but because I just happen to be there and I just happen to be like, yeah, let's do that, and they just may have nothing to do at that point in time. They're like, okay, I guess. And then I started thinking, like, I don't know, do they actually want to? It's like, I feel as though I'm the one that's trying to get the ball rolling. I'm the one trying to push the plans into occurring and showing, hey, like, I want this to happen. I'm trying to make this work. Trying to do this with you. Trying to do that with you. Trying to link up, as you would say. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to... It sounds so weird saying to be the one to make the first move. But in all essence, it's kind of like making the first move. Sometimes you just gotta go up to the person, just start a random conversation with them. Just be like, yeah, sit with me. Or, yeah, like, let's continue this and, I don't know, eat some bread somewhere. I don't know why I thought about that first. But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or that's wrong. I personally think that it's a good trait to have the confidence, to have the bravery, the courage to ask somebody you barely know or just hang out with somebody you barely know. Because I used to be that person that was shy too, believe it or not. I just used to be scared of what people, more so because of what people thought in that moment. I don't even think I was really just scared to ask the person. I was scared of what they would think. Like, oh my gosh, do they think that I'm doing the most? And wow, look at that. Not me realizing that this feeling is coming back. But are they gonna think I'm doing the most? Do they think that I'm weird? Do they not want to hang out with me? Almost kind of scared of rejection as well. But it's a good skill to have, to go up to people and talk to people and, you know, try to push the plans. Not like push, but like, you know, kind of insinuate like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good quality to have. I said that 15 times, but at this point, I also think that I'm trying to convince myself of that. And I don't mind doing that either. That's, I think, what I wanted to come out, or I wanted to say. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind being the one to kind of get the ball rolling. But when I don't get that vibe in return, it doesn't have to be crazy excitement, like, oh my god, yeah. Quite frankly, I would find that a little bit creepy. Like, you've only known me for 15 seconds. Why are you acting so excited? Are you planning to kidnap me? Like, what's going on? I don't know why that would be the first thing that comes to my mind. But what I was saying is that you don't have to act all crazy all excited and stuff like that. But when I just don't get that vibe in return, like you're just acting nonchalant about it, like, don't worry about it right now. It's fine. Chill out. And what was the other one that another person said to me the other day? Like, oh, it's so far away. Oh my gosh, this whole, I don't know. No shade, no tea, no shade. But it just has me thinking sometimes, am I doing too much? Do I look desperate to these people? Am I being too friendly? Am I being demanding? Am I just being too much for you? And over the past couple of days, I can't even say a couple of weeks, it's only been a month-ish where I actually started kind of forming connections with people. But over the past couple of days, I've just been feeling like I've been doing too much, or maybe I am too much for them. And it's kind of been that way for a lot of my life. So, and then in that isolation period, I guess it kind of went away because I was home. I wasn't really talking to anybody except maybe my high school friends on like a every other week type of basis. But now these feelings are starting to resurface, and I'm like, oof, it kind of hits different this time around. But, it's especially with the whole tall thing, the whole being tall thing when I was growing up. That was one of the major things that made me feel like I was too much. Not necessarily, I felt like too intimidating because people are always like, why are you so tall? Why are you so big? And a lot of people, when you talk about first impressions with other people, they're like, yeah, what was your first impression of me? My first impression of you is that you're like intimidating. I'm like, of course, the first impression was because I'm intimidating. It's like, why? Like, because, maybe I'll have like a resting B face, or I don't know, I mean mug people, or I don't know. But a lot of the reasons was because I was tall. I was a lot taller than them. I'm just like, damn, didn't know that my height prevented people from wanting to talk to me. That's crazy. But I've gotten the too talls, or the too intimidatings, or the too scaries. But in my reflection, I guess you could say, years ago, I like to look at it this way. If someone told you that you're too tall, instead of getting sad about it, have you ever thought about just maybe that you're too tall for that person specifically, and maybe you should find other people who appreciate your height? Just a thought, right? Or so I thought. I thought it was just a thought before. But maybe I should just start applying this mindset or this thought to this situation, right? If I'm being too straightforward, if I'm being too direct, if I'm being too demanding, if I'm being too quote unquote pushy, am I talking with the right people? Because I know that I'm not too much, or at least for myself, I'm not too much. I'm not desperate or anything like that. I'm kind of over, especially last semester. Last semester just really showed me, like, do y'all really care? I mean, I know that there are people that care out there, but maybe I should just not think too hard or too seriously about things. But am I thinking too hard or too seriously about this? I don't think so. Because, like I said, I'm not desperate or anything like that. I just want to show that, hey, like, I think you're kind of lit. Let's do something. I think you're kind of lit. Let's have a conversation. But if I'm overbearing for you, maybe you just can't handle somebody with that type of personality. Because, you're not for everybody. I know that I'm not for everybody. I think everybody knows that they're not for everybody. Not everybody can handle certain personalities. I definitely realized that in high school because if you don't know me personally or anything, I am a very loud person. I'm a very expressive person. I I randomly break out into singing. I randomly dance in public. I do these weird hand gestures, weird facial expressions, stuff like that. And that can be a little too much for people, because some people prefer people that are reserved, just stay quiet, yada yada yada, just sit and watch. And it's like, it's not a bad thing if you like that. It's not a bad thing if you want people like that, or want to be around people that are like that. But that has me thinking, are literally all the people that I'm talking to like that? I don't know. That's why I keep thinking, am I talking to the right people? Because I know that I'm not too much, I'm not desperate, as I've said before. But is my personality just too much for you? Can you not handle this type of personality? I'm not the only one with this type of personality either. I don't know. It's too many thoughts. And then the whole vibe thing not being reciprocated or whatever, it just leads to disappointment. Like, of course we're gonna go back to being tall, but when you have a great conversation seated, and then you both stand up, and in this equation, I guess you could say, you're the taller one, and you see the look of terror on their face because of the height difference. That disappointment definitely hits different. Listen, I just don't want to, oh my gosh, I did it again. I said listen to the 40-year-old man. I said listen to other people that I'm talking to, and they're always like, I'm listening. Why do you need to be aggressive? It's just something that I say. It's kind of like a filler word. There's no need to attack me for saying listen. I know you're listening when you're maintaining that eye contact and you're nodding and stuff like that. You don't need... Anyways, that's a segue. But the point here is, I don't want to annoy anyone. But I also don't want to hold my personality back either. Quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm just trying to be India, I'm just trying to be the expressive India, the upfront India, the direct India, the loud India. And I know that withholding my personality back, or not holding my personality. I know withholding my personality back, that's just not going to attract the people that should be, deserve to be, could be in my life. That's not going to attract the people that I want to be around. But then I also know that not holding my personality back, some people are going to fade into the distance. And that's part of the reason why it's hard for me to open up to people, because I just don't want to give you an emotional piece of me, and then you leave and take that emotional piece with you, and it's like there's still some lingering attachment there, and it's harder to just get over it and just forget about you. But it's all a process, and I'm trying to be patient with myself. And I think that maybe in all of this, it's time to just spend some time by myself, spend some time alone. I know it's only been a couple weeks, a month and a half-ish, talking to other people, and it's not like a crazy amount, like, ooh, but I'm still trying to get used to being in the whole social scene. And I kind of want to create that balance of spending time with myself and spending time with others. And maybe I've been doing the most trying to spend time with others that I have been neglecting spending time with myself. So I think maybe I need to do that. And this is a reminder that your personality isn't too much for the right people. When you're around the right people, your personality is enough. It's good enough. It's great enough. It's amazing. It's awesome. And the experience is wonderful. Just like with being tall, honestly. And I'm convinced that being tall is a superpower. Okay, we can reach stuff off of high shelves. We can walk fast. What is that, like super speed? And super length for reaching the stuff off of the high shelves. I don't know. But Superman who? I've only heard of super tall. All right, I think, yeah, it's time to stop. I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much for listening to me. I don't know, trying to get my thoughts together. I wouldn't call this a rant. My TED Talk, yes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and staying all the way to the end. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And as always, feel free to hit me up on my socials at A Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and let me know what you thought of this episode. Have you been feeling this way too? Have you been feeling like maybe you're too much for others, or I don't know, feeling disappointment because you're not around, or you haven't found your people yet, or you have a hard time being vulnerable with others? It's all a process. There's a lot that's up in the air. Nothing is ever set in stone. Anything I say is never truly set in stone. This is just what I'm feeling at the moment. And I know it's probably the same for you. And things are always subject to change. But, if you want to talk about it, let me know. My DMs are open or whatever. Also, don't forget to leave me a review. The link is below. Let me know how tall you are. I want to be tall buddies. And yeah, you're awesome. You're doing great. And I'm proud of you. And I will catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.